people doing the dumbest things and making the dumbest decisions, you know, and they don't understand why they have these decisions, these calamities coming upon them, you know. You got, man, I could just go on for days and days and days on end of examples of how these dumb motherfuckers are doing dumb shit, but whatever, you know. One of the things, well, we're going to get into it right here, but it says, wherefore also God gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Okay, cutting your rod off, man, transgenderism, you know, you want to be this and you want to be that because the foolish talk that they have, you know, they coming down, sitting down, professing themselves to be wise in these little rooms, and they're having this filthy conversation, you know, at a time like this, at a time we about to go into a nuclear war, you motherfuckers are pushing agendas talking about transgenderism and 5-year-olds need to be transgender and shit. This is what your conversation is at a time like this, you know? At a time like this when you got chemtrails and GMOs and fluoride in your water, you want to talk about giving a 5-year-old a sex change because he feel like he need to be a little girl at the age of 5, you know? Verse 25, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshipped and served the creature more than the creator who is blessed forever. Amen. So again, you going into that little 5-year-old who's saying that, hey, look, you know, I was a little boy. First of all, you brainwashing him, reading little stories to him about the 2 mommies and 2 daddies. You brainwashing this little boy, you know. You read a 5-year-old boy, you read a story to a 5-year-old boy about Superman and superheroes. What the fuck you think he gonna want to be? He gonna want to be a superhero, okay? You read a 5-year-old boy a story about police officers and stuff like this. He gonna want to be a police officer. You read him a story about trains and train conductors, he going to fucking be a train conductor. Just think about how you grew up, you know? And the things you wanted to do. When you was little, you know, when I was a little kid, you know, I used to watch wrestling, you know? When I went over to my friend's house who had a trampoline, we used to play wrestling. Because that's what we was, you know, watching on TV, you know? Now knowing growing up older, you'd be like, man, that's some folly. I don't want to be dressed half naked, you know, grabbing up on another man and stuff like that. But as a child, you know, you easily to be, how do you say, fashioned in your mind. You in a learning stage, so you start to retain a lot of things you were given, you know. So it says, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator who is blessed forever. So you going at the vain thoughts and opinions of these people and the shit that they saying in their mind. We still rolling. But yeah, we got to cut this down for time. But yeah, nevertheless, you know, you're just going off of, you know, people's vain thoughts and emotions. You catering to what they feel and their feelings in there instead of the truth that was at hand, you know. Verse 26, for this cause Yahweh gave them up to vile affections. Okay? Vile affection, like to some just straight nasty shit, you know. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Or what is against nature, you know. Another woman can't put semen inside of your body and produce a baby with you. That's against nature. 2 female lions ain't trying to fuck to have a baby. 2 female plants ain't trying to germinate one another to have, you know, sproutlings and things like that, you know. That's in nature. And lions and the plants, they not going and reading the Bible and understanding what the Most High say. You know, how much more should you? But it says, even their women did change the natural use that into that which is against nature, and likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman. What is the natural use of a woman, you know, for a man and a female? Like, what is the one thing that, you know, a man and a female can do that, you know, 2 men can't do and 2 women can't do? Procreate, you know. 2 men can't procreate, 2 women can't procreate. That's the natural use of a woman, you know, for a man. Likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman burned in their lust one toward another. Okay, men with men working that which is unseemly. Like, what the fuck are you fucking another man in the asshole for? Think about that. That's just nasty. That's vile. That's some reprobate ass shit, you know. And it says, and receiving in them that recompense of error which was meat, you know. You getting AIDS, all kind of diseases and shit like that. And another thing I'm starting to notice, I don't know if this is factual or not, but I'm starting to notice these commercials and stuff on, you know, on YouTube and TV and stuff like that, where, you know, it's like medical commercials. You know, if you got this issue or that issue, you know, there's this one where, I know that there's this one, you brothers probably seen it on YouTube. This is like doctor lady or whatever, and she's talking about how she had either colon cancer or something like that, a basically she had a bloody ass, more or less to say. Kind of gross, but that's the fuck she said. And she was crying and talking about what about her children, this and that. And the only thing I can think of is you probably shouldn't have been getting fucked in the ass throughout your adolescence and your teen years and going around and being a freak hoe, putting all kind of shit in your ass. And now you done destroyed the shit. Now you receiving that recompense, which was meat. You over here dealing with, you got all kind of problems like this shit. Like, I wonder why. There's abundance of you motherfuckers out here participating in anal sex, and now you see on the rise of all these different cancers and things is dealing with, with your anus, and you wonder why. Like, I wonder if it had to do anything with this influx of sodomy that's going on. You think it might have any kind of connection to that? Maybe not. But I'm pretty sure it does, because the scripture say you got that recompense, which was meat. It says verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Okay? Like, the Most High trying to give you life, but you over here ignoring him. Nah, I want to drill this hole in the boat. I want to drill a hole in the boat. Alright, well, fuck it then. Drill the hole in the boat. I'm going to bring a big-ass storm and drown your motherfucking ass. But I ain't going to drown you fast. I'm going to drown you slow so you can sit there and die in agony with this shit. Now, as you over here dying in agony and drowning and shit, you want to cry out to the Most High. Don't cry out to me now. I tried to help you beforehand and tell you beforehand, but you didn't want to do that. You want to do your own thing, so you go ahead and do your own thing and figure it out in the water on your own, It says, verse 29, but being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, transgenderism. All this shit y'all got going on with these little kids. Oh man, the little boy, he at 4 or 5 years old, he know that little Jazz or whatever. Look up little Jazz. This motherfucker's been a transgender since before this motherfucker could start school. Before this motherfucker learned the alphabets in school and shit, this motherfucker was a transgender. It says get back to it. Inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. Okay, and now being disobedient to parents is taking it a step further, because most of you fucking parents is the reason why your kids is all fucked up now, because you ain't got no guidance in you. But your parents at this point in time now is the real men of the Lord, just telling you to come out of those ways, somebody that's there to guide you. Like in today's society, anybody could birth a child, anybody could give birth to a child, but then you have what they call foster parents, and when you adopt folks, yeah, you might not have gave birth to that child, but you done reared that child up and gave that child all their guidance, and you gave them all the things that they needed to go on in this life, This is without understanding, y'all doing this shit without understanding. First of all, you got two lesbians, right? They want to get together because they think that's what's right. Now they want to have their little happy family and be with a woman. Now, as a woman, you're going to yearn for that one thing that you should be yearning for, is to be a mother, But now you're looking at this other woman, y'all trying to figure out how you're going to get a baby. But now you got to go to a man to get a baby. You should have just did that to begin with, And now you got these two women trying to raise a child. What about what if you have to raise a son, How can a mother raise a son properly, Look at all these single parents today, and you wonder why our community's all fucked up, Who's better to teach a little boy about, the things there are of being a man, and the different things about being a man? When women, they're emotional, whereas a man is more logical, And same, what kind of father can properly teach a woman how to be, all the hygienic things that there needs to be taught to be a woman, about a period and stuff like that. Most men don't really know that much about all that stuff, more than a female who experienced that already can tell her daughter about, This is, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection. Okay, without natural affection, you don't give a fuck about nobody else, your body, your future generations. You're like, we don't care about none of that. You don't have natural affection for one another, Implicable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that which they commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So again, getting back into this conversation, you don't necessarily have to be doing all this stuff, but you so-called agreeing with them and letting them do what they want to do. You might as well be a partaker in that as well, You over here talking about, if they want to be a transgender, let them be a transgender. But see, you about to get everybody fucked up. You know, you got to man the fuck up and just be like, nah, that shit is wicked, and you about to get us Sodom and Gomorrah over here, right? Nah, you not finna have me fucked up because of you and your followingness. We gonna have to get rid of your ass first and foremost before the Most High bring a massive evil upon us. You know, we wouldn't be in this scenario right now had it would have been for real men standing up for all the wickedness that, you know, our nation was doing to begin with. You know, we're gonna end off with this because I know I done drug on way too long. This is 2 Peter. I'm gonna start at verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as they shall be false teachers among you, who probably shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring them upon themselves swift destruction. Okay, again, these false prophets. Now, this is mainly talking about people that is actively teaching in His Word, but then also you have these false prophets in on the left hand side. You know, again, they prophesying about things in the world. You know, bullshit in the world. You know, that people trying to build communities in this world. People trying to, you know, the homosexual deals, the transhumanism, the microchip deal. You know, all these things. These are these false prophets. You know, talking about this damnable heresy. You know, and many shall follow after their pernicious ways. Okay, and the many that shall follow, you only got two sides: those that's following the righteousness, the men of the Lord, and those that's gonna follow those false prophets. And no matter what. You know, they can all be lumped in the same thing, whether they got their hand on the Bible, teaching out of the Bible, or whether they teaching homosexuality or whatever else. They all got one thing in common. None of those things are going to bring you salvation. All of those things are going to bring you basically destruction. So they all basically false prophets no matter what topic that they talking on, unless they speaking these prophecies in the scripture. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. Okay, they're gonna follow that shit instead of following the actual doctrine of the Most High. And through covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you. Okay, they out here scoffing and stuff. We got a scoffer that comes up to our camp. You know, this Edomite come to our camp talking about how, now this is a male talking about how sexy other male are and how he want to sleep with other men. See that's that wickedness, that folly, that bullshit. These false prophets. You know. Again, if we was to sit here and listen to him, you know, we would, you know, I don't even want to try to imagine this, but if we was to listen to him and follow after his doctrine, we would be sleeping with other men, you know. That ain't standing up like as a man, like with the Most High saying, you know, like, look, we retaining what the Most High told us, you know. It says, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. So, you know, he about to be destroyed soon, so the fuck you want to follow him for? You might as well stick it with this, you know. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down into hell and delivered them into chains and darkness to be reserved unto judgment, you know. And this is basically talking about us right now, you know. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah and the eighth persons, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. So if you take apart that, the whole planet Earth was being inhabited at that point in time, you know. And they all perished because they was all in they filthy conversation. They was all, you know, basically all false prophets versus Noah. Noah was telling them the truth, but none of them wanted to hear it, you know. It was more of them than it was of Noah. But Noah, you know, he hearkened to the word of the Lord, and him and those 8 was saved. Him and those 7 was saved, you know, he being the 8th person. You know, they were saved on that ark, whereas everybody else died, you know. And you don't want to be in that same scenario now. You can hear everybody else. The trend is transgenderism. We all moving towards that, but you got to stand, stand firm on this truth, you know. It says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. Okay, so again, you see Sodom and Gomorrah, you don't want to get that treatment, in which we already know Babylon, America, is going to get that treatment. It says, verse 7, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. So again, what this whole topic is about, you know, the underlying thing about this, you're gonna be vexed and just the folly that's going on around you, you know. and the type of conversation you should be having. You shouldn't be getting caught up in all this other conversation that these people got going on. A lot is basically in the same scenario we in right now. You got all these so-called false prophets out there teaching on transgender and this and that, and false Christianity and all this stuff, and it's vexation to you because, you know, you always trying to defend the gospel. You know, every time you hear something contrary to the doctrine, you know, you trying to cast that down, but eventually it gets to the point that anytime you open your mouth, that's what you're doing. You're defending the gospel all day, all night, because it's all this vexation around you, you know. It says, for the righteous man dwelt among them, and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Okay? For the right, I'm going to read that again. For the righteous man among them, and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Okay, and again, like I said, if you're a man of the Lord and you in a righteous spirit and you out there, you know, in this world, everything you see is vexation to you. You know, you see these women walking around with their ass cheeks all hanging out, titties all hanging out, looking like fucking sluts and thoughts and shit like that. And you go try to talk to them, and they're like, don't talk to me like that, or don't approach me like that. Y'all men are all thirsty. But like, bitch, if you goddamn hang a fucking steak in front of a starving lion or a starving dog, you don't think he gonna go after it? You know? Like, what are you doing, you know? Like, you don't walk up to a cab, you know, a car that's painted like a cab, and try to get in and ask him to go somewhere, and he don't be like, I'm not a cab. What do you think? What do you think this is? Like, bitch, you got a fucking taxi cab, you know? This is what this thing's purpose is. But, you know, this is vexation, you know? You got these women want to rule over men, these women who want to say they want to be independent and shit like that. This is all vexation out here, you know? These you know, these women who just want to be sluts, you know? That's another thing. Women just nowadays want to be sluts. Why can't you just have a woman who want to just be a woman? And there's a lack of women who want to lay in the feminine role and be soft and feminine like, you know? Be like a woman. They want to speak like a man, be hard like a man, act like a man, dress like a man, talk like a man, be like a man, do manly things. Like, don't know, man. The only men that want a woman like that is homosexual men who want to basically be sleeping with another man. You know, me for myself, I want a straight womanly woman, you know, with womanly tendencies. You know, I got rough hands from working all hard and stuff. I don't want my woman's hands to be all rough and shit. I want her hands to be soft and shit, you know. I want my woman to have a soft-spoken voice and to speak like a woman and do womanly things, you know. And have a woman's hairstyle and look like a woman and be like a woman. So when I'm with her and dealing with my woman, I ain't thinking about no man or nothing like that. I don't have no, you try sleeping with a woman who got a short haircut or a bald head or something like that, and it's dark, you start feeling over her head, you know, you might get a thought in your head, you might be laying in the bed with another nigga or some shit, or a woman that's all cock diesel and swollen shit, you rubbing up on her and she's swollen than you, you know, that to me, that shit's vexing. I don't want no woman more manly than me, man. I might as well go get a man for all that, and that's some wicked shit right there, you know. Where was I at? For that righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and hearing, vexing his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and reserve the unjust to the day of judgment to be punished. Okay? Man, I done read a little more than 1 or 2 over there, but we're going to jump over, well, we can keep reading. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness and despise government. Okay? Now, government, meaning basically it's, that goes into, I want to say, more or less when you get into the deeper word, mind control, you know? They're controlling your mind. But they don't want to, they despise mind control, more or less to say, but not in a wicked way, but more or less like the Most High. He's trying to mind control you. He's trying to give you the things in your mind that's righteous. He's telling you, he's trying to mind control you, okay? He's trying to tell you that as a man fucking another man, you're gonna be fucked up, and you're gonna more than likely get put to death, okay? Mind control, so you don't fucking go off. You don't want you to be destroyed. He want to give you life and show you how to have eternal life, okay? But you could be all fucked up in your mind and keep living in death, you know? He's trying to steer you into the right path, you know? But they despise this. They despise laws. You know, you have a place without laws. And what do you have? You know, if you don't have control, you have chaos, you know. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. Okay? Again, it says presumptuous. Are they self-willed. Okay? Again, despising government. They despising this so-called guidance. They despising, the righteous ways. They just want to go off in their own ways. Says, whereas the angels, which are greater in power and might, bring not railing accusations against them before the Lord. But these is natural brute beasts. Okay, these natural brute beasts, these fucking heathen, even 2/3 of our people, these as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. Okay, this is what they was made for, to be taken and destroyed because of the folly and shit they got going on. They need to be they don't deserve life. They need to be put to death. But these as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. You out here, we out on the highways and the byways trying to edify and bring you up, and you want to come up and take over and start teaching some folly that you don't even know about, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Okay, again, on the highways and the byways, you see the same thing. Spots are they and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you, having eyes full of adultery, that they cannot cease from sins, being beguiling unstable souls, and a heart they have exercised with covetous practice, cursed children. Okay, all right, I'm going to read down 2 more verses. I'm going to read a couple more verses, all right? But basically, it's going into, like, man, these reprobates, man, like, they already fucked up. There ain't no excuse. Like, motherfuckers basically out there dying of dehydration, He's thirsty, And you over here to water, just over here bathing and washing your car in water. You drinking this shit, bathing and like, nigga, I got water all day. You over here dying of dehydration, and you like, oh, no, I don't need no water. Fuck you, nigga. I don't need no water. I'm good. Like, bitch, you over here dying and withering away. Why don't you I got plenty of water. I'm over here fucking got a water park going. Nigga, come drink something. You straight? Nah, this motherfucker want to sit here and die in his own bullshit, so fuck him. It says, verse 15, which have forsaken the right way and have gone astray, following the way after Balaam, the son of Beor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumbass speaking with man's voice forbade the madness of the prophet. Okay, you dumbasses. And for you people who talk about it, we be cussing. The same language is in the Bible, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumbass speaking with man's voice forbade the madness of the prophet. These are wells without water, clouds that are carried away with the tempest, to whom the midst of darkness is reserved forever. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they are lured through the lust of the flesh. Okay? You got these people out there, this homosexual, transgender stuff, they speak in swelling words. They know how to put this in they speak way better than I speak. You got all these ums and cutoffs and this and that, but they can speak in a good speech lecture type of voice, but the shit they bringing out is just is heresy, is damnable, is folly. We might not be able to speak in the same eloquent tongue that they got, but what we bringing out is pure gold, is richness. It says, for when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they are lured through the lust of the flesh. Through much wantonness, those that were clean escaped from them who lived in error. Okay, so we're gonna end it there because we didn't went on way too long. We didn't drug on about an hour here, but nevertheless, we wanted to just get on that topic. What manner of conversation should you be in at this point in time and day? The things you should be talking about, the things that you should be dealing with, and being vexed in your mind day in, day out. Hearing this conversation that's going on around you. This should turn you up to do more and more videos, and just really your whole conversation should be about this. That there ain't nothing more important than what's going on and what's that topic at hand. The Kardashians, the sport games, all that's folly, especially with this elephant in the room, Esau, and this war that he's waging on us right now with all kind of things, psychological, biological, chemical, all kind of war he got going at us. He's killing us with the food, the air, the water, our people, the minds of people, with actual bombs and guns and stuff like that, and our people Still, you know, our people still going to McDonald's in 2017. People are still eating McDonald's, you know. People still eat McDonald's. That's how we know that this word ain't all the way the fuck out there like that. And you need to keep, you know, your conversation, you know, you need to have that holy conversation in this point in time, you know. Basically, be a man. There's only 144,000 real men out there that's gonna be pushing this word, you know. And if you got this inside your heart to just be vexed with this all day, look, that's a good sign. Push and push hard, you know. Stand up for righteousness and don't let this folly and this wickedness sit here and prevail, you know. And it's gonna be more of them than it is of us because it's only 144,000 in the 1/3 versus the rest of the world. You know, you might get to where you might think that ain't nobody listening and all you hear is all this foolishness and everybody teaching all this other stuff, but you know, they gonna all be destroyed and you're gonna be the ones that's gonna raise up the rest of the world. You know, you're gonna be the new heads of this planet because they all showing right now they're not capable of being in charge of this planet or ruling over people or running the planet. You know, they just running it into the ground. You know, and we proven by standing up to them, even without no real power at this point in time, that we, you know, we should be the men that rule this planet. You know, because we standing up against this wickedness, even in our captivity. You know, even at the threat of being put to death, of being thrown into prison. You know, even at the threat of being alienated from our families. You know, our women, our kids, even being fired from our jobs, being made a so-called scoffer in the mainstream media, being called terrorists, all kind of things. We doing all that despite all of those things. You know, we doing this because we real men, and this is a real man's job, and a real man got to do what a real man got to do. With that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I know it drug on way too long, but I want to say all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well. And salutations to you brothers pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. Until next time, Shalom.